Hi. Hey, I did it. I knew where to put all the things.
Now my mic is working and your mic is working. And now people have sound and everything is fucked and our whole stream was completely failured. Ah, damn it. This is because I didn't take 10 minutes in between what I was doing in the streaming. I was just like, OBS, start streaming, go.
I was learning, so it's not a complete failure.
Someday I'll get good
Probably
at this.
nobody else was even watching it. I mean, especially after they realized
But I
there
learned
was
something.
no sound.
Now I can't hear you. Fuck. Why can't I hear you? I switched this to Podcaster and I Show You. I Show You is getting it. Podcaster should be getting it. Oh, I didn't. Fuck. Hold on. Oh, that was definitely not right. That was this one. On! Every time I plug in my mic again, I have to redo this shit. Okay.
What's this room? Don't go in.
Hi.
Hello. Sorry, Willa.
I'm streaming. This is fine.
How many kids are there? It sounds like a million.
Oh, good. I can hear you now. Like 4. Plus my 2, I think.
Oh, okay. So 6 total.
Yeah.
But hey, it wasn't a complete failure because look, while you were messing with that, I got it to work.
Oh, good.
I knew where to put the things. I realized I couldn't reference it as element.string, or not element.string, sorry, element.name. I was looking at the word string, and that's why I said that out loud.
Right.
I couldn't put it as element.name in here because this part of the function doesn't access the array at all. But this part does, so that's where I told it is element.name, and then that sends it over here as name because it takes that as that, and then it puts name into there, and it reads the name from over here, and it prints it to the screen.
Yay! Yeah. Now that you've got TypeScript in there, it's going to underline things in red immediately. So it gives you a much sooner clue of when you've got it wrong.
Yeah.
I find TypeScript much easier to get things working in because it just brings the wrongness to the front so much faster.
Yeah, and I don't know, he might eventually cover TypeScript in my video.
I doubt it. That's fine, hun.
So there we go. That works.
Yep. Great. Okay. So now, this is putting it to the console, but what if we wanted to write a report? What if we wanted to put it in a file?
Then we would need to return it and tell it to go to a file. I don't know. I've never done anything like that. I've only returned stuff and for the purpose of the program or console.logged in.
Okay. Actually, this is a good idea, Jess. Okay. Yeah. So first of all, lines 45 through 49, wrap that in a function and then call the function.
Oh, so like that?
No, a function.
Like this?
You can have.
I don't know.
Okay, so you can either say. You can just say, okay, say function final report. Open parent, close parent, open curly.
Oops, hold on.
Yeah, so instead of const, we're declaring it as a function.
Okay.
Okay, and now just move the close curly down to the end of all of that.
Oh, to the end down here?
Just the close curly.
Oh, the close was down. Hold on, it was not like...
It's going to get happy after you put the close curly there and hit save.
There.
Now hit save so it'll format it. There you go. Okay, this is what I meant by wrap it in a function.
Oh, okay, yeah. For some reason, I was thinking it was like the function where you have to name it and then assign it, but you're right.
You can. I mean, you could say const final report equals function, this thing.
Yeah, that's the That's what my brain was thinking.
Yeah, which is also fine. But it can't just equal this thing. You still have to put function, curly.
And then
Okay.
if we want to call it,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
what would we don't need to put anything in there to call it, right? Because it's already got all this stuff.
It doesn't have any parameters. Yeah. You could pass the, why don't you pass the array in just on principle? Yeah.
And that should work exactly the same, and it does.
Oh, but it's wrong. Look, and TypeScript is telling you it's wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Expected 0 arguments, but got 1. There we
What? Currently in your function, it's using the hard-coded array just because it has the same name. Please change the name of, on 32, change the name of student scores to like, what's the name of your TV show?
The Magicians.
Okay, there. Change it to that. Okay, now you can see in final report that it's angry. But you want to pass that in.
Because now I can pass in student scores.
Close. You want to pass in the Magicians.
The Magicians, yeah.
Yeah. And within the function, you don't know about the Magicians. You just want to call that student scores.
Yeah. Exactly. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, so make that work.
Okay, but it's not happy with it. So, that's because I need to tell it now it is getting an argument in here, which is, I don't know what the name of the array.
It's student scores.
Oh.
Yes. So the final report function now, it doesn't know who the students are. You know who the students are. They're the Magicians. But you just pass in their scores generically. And in final report, you can even tell it what kind of thing student scores is.
Yeah, and so that way if we had a second array with a second group of elements, then we could just change this and get the same thing called on the other array.
Right. Okay, now look at, in your function on line 47, say, like hover over element. Look, it's an any. It lost its information. That's because final report doesn't know anymore what student scores is. It's no longer a hard-coded array. But you can tell it. So there, yeah.
Right here,
Yep.
I would say, and what I put so now I need to assign another type. So I would actually put type.
No, colon. It's not a new type. You're just telling it what type student scores has. Because you've already made...
Student scores is an array of objects.
It's an array of marked paper.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So
that way, if you try to pass the wrong thing into your function, if you try to give it an array of just numbers that didn't have like the structure with the score and the name, it would yell at you.
It's a marked paper array, and if you look up here, it says that a marked paper array is an array that has objects with elements of name, which is a string, score, which is the correct answer count, which is a number.
Yes.
Okay.
I find it so much easier to understand when we're able to tell it what kind of thing each variable is.
No, I find that really helpful too. It's just like I said the last time we streamed. One of the things that I was struggling with was understanding where some of the arguments were coming from. I wasn't recognizing that what we were actually referencing was each individual element of an array, and that is like where I got confused. So this definitely is something that helps with that specific kind of confusion.
Good. It's like you said there's so many things you have to keep in your head. This lets you write down some of the things that you're keeping in your head, which is what kind of thing is this? How do these pieces fit together? So now if you hover over element on line 47, it should tell you it's a marked paper. Yeah. And it knows the score is a number and everything's happy.
Great.
It also like catches some screw ups, but I really find it just useful to be able to write down what kind of thing this is and have the compiler make sure I got it right.
And because it is just a lot to hold in your head, of not only holding in your head sort of the flow of, okay, this takes in the Magicians, which gives it this, which then turns it into this, which then runs it as, and like also remembering what each of those individual things are supposed to be on their own.
Yeah.
Programming is complicated. Who knew?
Totally. Yes. Okay, good. So I'm glad this is helping. It's definitely helping me to be able to write these things down. Okay.
Yeah, I think the more that we practice just stuff like this, the quicker I'll be able to get through like my other learning and then move on to the more complex stuff. It's just good to have practice where someone is helping me walk through it.
Yes. So now.
Yeah, but that one I was able to finish on my own while you were freaking out about the stream. And then I knew how to go in and finish it. I actually didn't need you to walk me through the end.
Yay. Oh, of the name part. But the next step, I want to turn final report into a higher order function. I was thinking earlier maybe we'd make it pass in the grade function, like the letter grade assignments you could grade on a curve or something if you wanted, but I think it would be better to pass in how to output the string, because right now we're console.logging it, which is fine. But if we had, I don't know, thousands and thousands of grades, 1 million grades, and we wanted to do something other than console.log to them, you had the good idea earlier of instead of console.logging, we could return all of the formatted grade strings, right? And that would and then you could write them to a file or whatever you wanted with them. There's another way to do this, which if you really had millions of them, so many, unrealistic in this case, but in other cases it totally happens.
Yeah, so the magicians, anything could happen. It's magic.
If you had so many, or it could even be an infinite sequence, if you had so many that you can't hold it in memory and you need to output it and let it go and move on instead of returning it, because you would run out of memory if you tried to return them all. The other option is instead of returning anything from final report, we can pass in a function for where to output the string.
Okay. Yeah.
So we can pass in console.log. Yeah.
Okay.
So final report, the magicians, console.log. No parentheses. Because console.log, inside. It's an additional argument. Yeah, we're going to pass in console.log. That is how to output. So then you can give final report, it's going to be angry because it's got an extra argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
So give it a second parameter.
A second parameter, up here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you did
Which
earlier.
would be, I don't know.
How to output. Output, yeah. Output is fine. Okay. And then on line 49, instead of console.log, call output.
Like so. Hold on, and then I take off this because I took out the console.log.
You lost an open parent.
Did I?
On 49. Yeah, there.
Oh.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah, I just knew. Yeah, okay. Output that.
Oh, and then you lost the closed parent. You need the closed parent back.
Oh, I thought that those went out because I took off console.log, so that was my bad.
No, output is a function. You're calling at the output function here.
Right, because this takes functions as an argument, so that's why it's got this and this. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, make sure it still works.
Okay. Make sure it saves. Yep, good job, Margot. Still got an A at 100%. Okay.
Fabulous. So you have created a higher order function because it accepts a function as an argument. Let's pass in a different one. Let's see, like if we wanted to write it to a file, for instance. I know. Let's just make one. I don't know. What do you want to do? We could write it to a file, or we could just put more strings around it. Or we could, what else could we do with that output? Oh, we could put it in a box. Hold on. We got to put it in a box. Okay. At your terminal. Let's see. We're gonna make this into an npm project so that we can install dependencies without installing them globally. Do npm -- init. Yeah. And it's going to ask you stuff about, okay, I was wrong. Maybe there's no -- just npm init. I was close. There it is. It's going to ask you some questions. You're going to have to name it. You can just hit enter if you want. Yeah. It doesn't matter. If you were going to publish this, you would like put stuff in here. It totally doesn't matter. There you go. It gave you a package.json, which is a definition of your project. Yeah, go look at it. There it is. There's some stuff. It talks about your project. The important thing is that this is going to let us bring in other tools. You're learning all kinds of things today, Bunny. Because we're going to bring in a tool that puts the text in a box. Okay. And for that, you want to do npm install at your terminal, boxin.
Boxin? Like
Yes, that is, yes. This is my favorite npm package that I didn't write. There it is. Okay, now go look at your package.json again.
This one?
That's a new one. Don't worry about that one. Boxin. Dependencies, boxin. So it gave you a dependency. And it also created a node modules directory, which copied in the code from the boxin package.
This?
Mm-hmm.
Just like that? Just copy that?
Oh, no. No, this is just what it did. See that node modules directory?
Mm-hmm.
That has the code from the boxin package.
Okay.
So this just like, you know how you have functions like console.log and array functions and things like that? Those are built into Node, is how you have those. But this lets you bring in someone else's function.
Okay.
So you have to do two things. You have to, one, npm install the package, and that copies their code into your node modules directory so that you can use it. And the other thing is in our grade.ts, we want to call that boxin function. We have to bring it in. Do you want the TypeScript or the JavaScript syntax for this?
JavaScript, I guess.
Okay, let's do it JavaScript style because boxin doesn't have type declarations anyway, so it won't help you to do it TypeScript style. Do somewhere, it doesn't matter where. It can do var, or I guess let. You can do let, or even const. I guess it doesn't matter. Boxin equals require, and requires a function, and give it boxin as a string. Yes. Now, why is it angry about require? It's probably just TypeScript being like, cannot find name require. Oh, okay. See what it, okay. Cannot, hold on. Let's deal with this error. It's not bad. Cannot find name require. TypeScript doesn't know about require. This is purely a TypeScript thing. Do you need to install type definitions for Node? Okay, so this is the part where we tell TypeScript, hey, by the way, I'm in Node, and all the built-in Node things are things. So it says try npmi at type/node. And so do that. Actually, okay, yeah, just do that npmi at type/node thing.
Like in the file or in the terminal?
At the terminal.
Okay.
Because that's going to, npmi is short for npm install.
npmi, and then what was it?
At type/node. Types is plural. Yeah. And this is just I'm sorry. This is just a TypeScript being TypeScript. Good. Is it happy yet? Yeah, it's happy now. Now it's like, oh, okay, I see. I now know about the things that are in Node. So TypeScript is now happy with us requiring boxin. Okay, well, let's experiment with this. Down anywhere after you define boxin, say console.log, and then call boxin and pass it a string. There you go. And now run your program and see what it does. Oh, yes.
Oh, put it in a little box.
It puts it in a box. And you can pass it additional parameters to like turn the box yellow. You can make it double bars. You can put padding in the box and a margin outside the box. I love boxing. In fact, let's do that. I think. Oh, let me show you how to find out this stuff. Google NPM boxin. Yeah, boxin NPM. So NPM is Node Package. It used to be called the Node Package Manager. Now it doesn't stand for anything in particular because it's more than that. But this gives you examples. Okay, so you see how it says padding 1?
Yeah.
And that does stuff. And then you can do border style double. And you can do like color yellow. So yeah, pass your box in like an options object with like stuff in it.
Okay.
You can cut and paste off that page or type it. But TypeScript is not going to give you autocomplete on this because we don't have types for boxin.
Yeah.
I could give you some. I wrote some at some point. Not complete types for boxin though, just... Yeah, double border. Give it like...
Oh, that didn't
Cool.
work.
Oh.
It didn't give it a color.
You're right, it didn't give it a color. I'm pretty sure you can do color green. Try it again. Maybe it hadn't compiled yet. Why is it not? Oh, your terminal might not support colors.
Oh, yeah, possibly.
Open a terminal within VS Code. So in VS Code, do Control-Shift-T. Oh, no, wait. I might have mapped that myself. Okay, Command-Shift-P. Terminal. Oh, there you go. Open new terminal. Yeah, that one. Oh, looks like it's... No, not an external terminal. I wanted an internal terminal, VS Code. Yeah, quit that one. I mean, it's... Oh, you can try it. Yeah, no colors there either. That might be your terminal not supporting colors, but you can still do padding 1.
Don't worry.
Aww. Okay, great. So now you have a cool function that we can call. So now instead of just console.logging the thing, let's make it console.log boxin of the thing.
Okay.
All right, to start with, I wanted to, this will be easier if we declare the type of output. On line 45 where you have an output parameter.
Okay.
The type of that one, colon, is a function from a string. But you don't say function, I'm sorry. The particular syntax for a function from string to nothing is parens. So we're going to describe the parameters here and say like s colon string because you have to give them names. So this is a function of s, which is a string.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't actually matter what you call this, but you need to say colon string. No, you have to call it something colon string.
Oh. Okay.
This frustrates me about TypeScript. This actually annoys me. You have to name the stupid variable, give it a stupid name so that you can say colon string. Okay, banana colon string. Great. And then after the close paren, make an arrow and then say void. Void means it doesn't return anything of interest.
Okay.
So you just said, and it's happy now because if you hover over .log in console.log, yeah, it's a message which is any blah, 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 blah to void. It conforms to banana colons. It can accept a string and it can give you back it doesn't care where you give it back. So now if we try to pass in the wrong kind of function, it's going to yell at us.
Okay.
Okay, so now the challenge. Instead of passing console.log to final report, we want to pass a different function. This might be easiest if we don't try to make it an anonymous function. So make yourself a function called print in a box. Yes. 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 And now try to pass print in a box into final report instead of console.log. Oh, you'll need to move the definitions around though. But try it. Try to pass print in a box and it'll give you a nice error.
Yeah, because it'll say that it hasn't been defined yet.
Right. Yeah, so whatever.
Okay, I need to take this and just put it here.
Yeah. Yeah. It happens that if you use like the function syntax on line 45, it doesn't care. Then you can put them later. Whatever. Okay. Is it happy? It probably is happy because yeah. So print in a box currently requires no arguments and does nothing. But if we required the wrong arguments, see if you can make print in a box print a string in a box. Just like console.log a string in a box. Great. Okay, so now, oh yeah, do that. Boxing is not, oh, you've got to move your let up on line 57. Yeah. Usually you put those at the top of the file, but anyway, any place before you use it is okay, especially with that JavaScript syntax.
Oh, you got 4 of them.
You got all the cattywampus. Do you know?
It didn't give us our grades this time.
Yeah. Do you know why it did that?
No. I thought it would give us 2 of them.
Well, the last one is on line 58.
Yeah.
So you might want to comment out line 58. Just to get, okay, good.
No, I don't know why it did it 3 times.
Okay, so we passed print in a box we never called print in a box, right? But it's doing print in a box. Because we passed it into final report. And what does final report do with it?
Final report does this, final report. It didn't do that either. It stopped running this.
Oh, it ran format grade string, but it didn't do anything with it because it passed it into the output function. But what was the output function?
Boxing.
Well, the output function was print in a box.
Or print in a box, yeah.
Right. And print in a box, what does it do with its first argument?
Nothing.
Exactly. So give it an argument.
Box.
Okay, now make it use the argument instead of cattywampus. Ah!
Interesting.
So final report.
Oh, because it was calling boxing. It was calling boxing 3 times because there's 3 elements. But what I had put in for CW was taking precedence over this other stuff.
You didn't do anything with that argument.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So now print in a box is a function from any. Any is the default type. You can make it say that box is a string, but try something. Make it say box is a number on 53.
Excuse me. And then that should give an error, right?
Yes. Yeah. So now look down on line 56 and it's like, hey, I needed a function that takes a string, but you gave me a function that takes a number. Which was a really good way to find out if you're passing in the right kind of function.
Yeah. Cool.
Because you're able to say in final report, I need a function that takes a string because I'm going to give it a string, which you do. there you go. You have now written a higher order function. And we passed 2 different functions into it. We passed in console.log and we passed in print in a box.
And I think I mostly get it. And also, this will be good for me to look back at later and make sure I'm tracking where all the things get their stuff. There's a lot going on in here. So we don't really need any of this anymore.
Oh, yeah, you're calling those. You're calling calculate, letter grade, and calculate.
Oops. Wow, what did I do?
Oh, yeah, 26 and 27 you don't need.
Yeah. So, okay, I just want to, just so when I look at this later, I want to make sure that...
Good idea. Very good idea. Yeah. So here we have our functions that we wrote before, and then we made some types. And we've got a new...
We added a new array. Cool.
And we made a new function so that we can calculate all the scores instead of just one. And then we made it generic so that we don't have to just print them to the log. We can send them to whoever wants them with our output function.
Awesome.
You also learned about TypeScript and you learned about NPM dependencies, which are whatever. Just there'll be way more details about those later. For now, it just worked.
But yeah, we did a lot of things.
If you want to use TypeScript in your next problem, like if you want to label your types, just copy that tsconfig.json over to your next directory.
Okay.
And then it'll do things right.
Okay.
But the npm and the package.json stuff you only need if you're going to bring in packages from outside. Cool. I need to go feed those children cookie cake.
Well, thank you, Jessie.
Thank you.
That was really good, even though we'd only screened part of it with sound.
It was so good before that. Oh well, what do you do?
We didn't advertise this one, so.
True. And I didn't open YouTube to see if anyone was commenting. Whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Bunny. I love you.
I love you too. Have a good day.